Oh, dude, my hair is so bad. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. I
So if you do eat taquitos from the gas station, I'm not here to judge you, okay?
could have said yes, and that would have just been so much shorter, but you know how it is.
What is this thing I hear about you having a long tongue?
Yep, there it is. Yeah. Could have sworn I was gonna grab it. I was gonna be like, oh, I got the big pack. But no, yeah. It's just yeah, it's just the little guy.
I'm fucking Hispanic, so I'm probably going to get a lot of shit from my people.
Is just really stretchy, especially my face.
Haven't you heard how we rock each other's world?
And I don't think anyone told me that yet.
Welcome to Unshut, a place where if at any point you feel like you need to shut the up, don't.
Yo,
Can you hear me?
yeah, we should be good to go. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. So great to be here, yo. Thank you for having me. Of
Yes, thank you. How's your day been so far?
course. It's been pretty good. Yeah, pretty good so far. I'm trying to recall what I've done this far so far this morning. Oh, I played a little cornhole in the back with the family for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, outside of that, just hanging with the dogs, trying to, eat some breakfast, stay like somewhat healthy. But I mean, yeah, outside of that, not too much. What about you? How you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a pretty chill day. It's hot as fuck out, but it's good.
Where'd you say you were at again? Are you in LA?
I was, but I'm in Austin, Texas now.
Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. I don't know. I looked at the crew neck, and so I was like, okay, LA for sure. Hot. And I see it, so I was like, okay, maybe. There
Where are
we
you
go.
at
There
right
we go.
now?
I'm in Washington State on the west side. It's pretty chill. It's like 65, 67. A little overcast skies kind of thing. Nothing crazy.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not raining either, too, which is nice. It rains a lot, but like when you can catch those days where it's like cloudy, but no like rain on the ground, you can like go for a walk, ride a longboard around, like walk the dog and not have them be like muddy when they get back in the house, good stuff kind of thing,
I
right?
love that. I love that. Well, I've got so many questions for you because obviously I'm a huge fan of your music. I love everything you're doing. I don't know if you've had time to take a peek at any of the interviews that I do, but we do shoot the shit a lot. So it's not very traditional. It's a little random, but I'm ready to start if you are.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. No, I'm definitely down. Again, I wanted to say super sorry about just like, like the errors I was making back for with the timing and everything.
No, you're totally good, dude. It's so funny because originally how I wanted to break the ice with you was to totally ask you if you would go on a date with me because I have some date-like questions on here when I was creating the questions.
Oh,
But now we're going to break the ice a little bit differently. So
got you, got you.
I have to bring up the TikTok live.
Oh, the TikTok live? Oh, yeah.
I have to bring it up just to get it out of the way because I want you to get to know this side of me. I have consistently lived my life very open, something that's been so huge with me, specifically with the pod when I retired out of choreography and I started to pursue podcasting. Something that was so monumental for the foundation that I was building was allowing the universe to always redirect. There's always a reason why the universe redirects us in the silliest ways, in the most serious ways. And I wanted to tell you that because I think that specifically in the industry that you are in, it's so easy to take something so seriously and it take away the fun out of your craft. And I want to remind you as a 35-year-old now that it's okay to just shoot the shit and it's okay to not take things so seriously. And I would never ever want to go on your live and be like, where were you? Or anything like that out of a malicious way. It was truly fucking hilarious because, like I mentioned to you in that message, I got on just to kill time, and you happened to be the first thing that popped on my feed. And I thought that was just the biggest coincidence ever. So just had to tell you that.
No, of course, of course. I was like thinking too when I was on, because I just do them usually every day at 2. And like I guess space, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like I really have no clue. But yeah, so I was just on there. And then the people that joined, like they're the same people that are usually in there, I would say most of the time. I feel like I don't get a lot of like just randoms popping in. It happens every so often, right? But I love just being able to share stuff like that about myself because I feel like it is at the end of the day just something that shows a little bit more about, hey, I'm a human. I make like mistakes and I'll probably make mistakes again. You know what I'm saying? And just so, they get a sense of like that kind of things and like imperfections, you know? And so, and like, I would be mad at myself if I didn't like, especially call myself out in that instant, just because I'm like, dude, I got to be on my stuff, you know? But I appreciate you just responding the way you did too, because like, I mean, most of the time, at least, like I try and be the same way. I'm kind of go with the flow, you know, like, it's all good, you know? So yeah, I really appreciate that. And like, it was mad funny on the live too. Everyone thought it was hilarious.
It was truly epic. And I love that you bring up the fact that it's to show that you're human, because it's exactly what I love about your music. I love that it's very raw, also experimental, because I love what you're doing with the switch up in the genre. I know for me as a 35-year-old who I'm just a music lover, I love all types of genres. It's so
Yeah.
refreshing to see someone also dabble into their faith and also talk about the crossover between genres. So I commend you for that. And I'm curious to ask you, have you put any thought into what your shows are going to look like in the future with the crossover mixes?
Yeah, no, that's really big. And I feel like for me, at least with like the songs, some of which I would say in the 2021, 2022 kind of sound, it was more, I want to say, aimed in that pop sense. I want to say, right? Like just songs like City of Angels that I made. Another song I made was Emerald City. And like you get the guitar still, you know, you have like the piano, it's there, but you know, I'm like influenced by a lot of like people like that have that sort of sound background, you know, and I really enjoyed it at the time. I want to say like it wasn't like until like 2023 or end of 2022 I was in Nashville and I'd never been out there, and I made this song called Hit the Dirt. It was really rooted just based off of the instrumentation being like really raw, and I thought that was so sick, and I just wanted to keep going with it. And you know, a lot of those songs like that are in the style that I make in this genre now that I'm doing kind of are reminiscent of artists that I had listened to, like because I graduated high school in 2015, so like 2013 through 20 like 15, like Lumineers, Avett Brothers. There was a Carbon Leaf song I was a huge fan of, and just bands like that. I was just like really inspired by it. I thought it was cool, just you know, using an EP too, just as an opportunity to show like, hey, I'm gonna go back to my roots, you know. Maybe I didn't start by making this and it's not like roots reggae, right? But you know, it's something that I thought was cool to kind of express myself in that sense. But going back to sorry, dude, I'm such a yapper. But I just to give a little bit of context before I say, yeah, I'd say just with the shows, it's good to mix things up. Like even just with the ones that I just did, Chicago and New York, opening up for Ashley Kutcher. I did a good mix of the two, and I thought it was interesting, at least with the feedback I got back. Like, you know, with my guitarist telling me, yo, there was this guy in the audience, and like he was there, he was vibing, like he's having a good time. But when you did the Hallelujah song, it like kind of spoke to like someone a little bit, but I make sure that I try and say it in a way that isn't so like, hey, I'm forcing this on you. It's more so like, hey, this is my experience. Maybe it's similar to yours, maybe it's not. But yeah, I'd say so far just like it's been working, but I want to keep that in mind, you know, going forward, just so that like it doesn't get super like lost in translation what I'm trying to say at the end of the day, which I mean really is to just like talk about like how you're feeling, you know what I'm saying, and not like have any shame in it really.
No, well, I think it's truly genius, dude, because I absolutely think that there's a huge audience. I would even say majority of music lovers, they're never really put in this category, right? And I think that breaking that category of I am just a pop artist, I am just an artist, it's something that has truly been another one of the foundations as to why I have a lot of musical artists on here, is because I want to get away from genres. I want just artists. And I think we're moving into this generation where it truly is just that experiment with your sound, experiment with the genre, because that is eventually what creates the most iconic shows in the future, because your
Mhm.
catalog is going to be so crazy. Which I actually have a funny story real quick. So I'm a yapper too. This is why it's called Unshut, all right? Don't ever feel
Let's
like you need to
go.
shut the fuck up, okay?
All right, bet. Thank you.
So I was in the kitchen a few weeks ago, and this is after we had already confirmed our episode together. And I'd Hate Me Too starts to play in the kitchen. And I'm like vibing out, I'm jamming out. And just in an instant, I'm like, oh, I've got to write this person who sings this, because I am obsessed with this song. I go and look at my phone and I'm like, oh, fuck, I already have an episode coming out with Gavin. This is actually crazy. And it was so reassuring to why I had reached out to you in your team in the first place was because that genre shift that's so thrilling. Music should take you through all these roller coasters. And I love what you're doing as far as touching on the fact that, listen, like, you don't have to be a Bible thumper. You don't have to be this religious 24/7 type of person to be able to explore your faith a little bit. And I think so many of us relate to that. So, quick little story on talking genre switching and how I literally was like, I gotta write this person. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's Gavin.
Yeah, yeah, no, unless it's brought up to me, yeah, I sometimes I'll forget about a lot of those songs unless they were like songs that really stuck with me, like that I thought I was emotionally connected to, or like I was emotionally connected to in a stronger way. I felt like that song was like pretty much my way of saying like, hey, everybody who didn't want to believe in me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, I'm doing something now. So it's like, you know, how were you? I'd hate me too kind of thing. You know, I hate having that energy sometimes, but I feel like, you know, in the instant it felt like, and in the time I was like, oh, this feels great. And I love the song, but I think I'm so big upon messages and making sure that I don't say things that come off in a way, and maybe this is just the me overthinking, like, oh, did I sound too like mean in saying this, you know, like, oh dang, people were so nice to me back in the day, like there were only like maybe one or two people maybe, and so I'm just like, god dude, you know, it's crazy. But no, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I hope you rocked with it. Yeah, because it was fun at the time for sure, a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Before we jump back into music, I'm going to
Yeah.
start off with some like quick questions to just get to know you a little bit more so that the audience listening who have maybe never heard your music can also get to know you a little bit outside of music. Cool?
Yeah, 100%. Let's go.
First of all, what is your ethnicity? Because I feel like even with like the switching of like the look as you're evolving, you look like a completely different person. So I have to ask, what's your background? What's your ethnicity?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. My dad was born in China, in Hong Kong. He lived there until he was about 8 with his mom, who was fully Chinese, and his dad, who was, I want to say he was like 60 to 50, 60% Chinese, and the rest was like Portuguese, Irish. And then my mom is white, pretty much. Yeah, she's white. So I'd say, yeah, white and Chinese. I would say the greater part of like my ethnic background. Yeah, yeah, I want to say that. Yeah.
Do you get asked a lot if you're Latino?
I do when people are asking, yeah. And I'm like, oh, dude, no, I'm not actually. Like, no. Yeah.
I love it. One of the last things I did was just get on Google, obviously, and try to find some random shit. What is this thing I hear about you having a long tongue?
Yep, there it is. Yeah. No, no, it's yeah, yeah, dude. No, so this is so funny. I did a thing. What was it? It was a Spotify event. They were holding an event for like artists that were like, you know, like kind of like, you know, building themselves and like grinding up. You know, this was I think 2022. And yeah, no, it was 2022. And dang, that was 2 years ago. It's crazy. And yeah, so they were just having fun, like doing interviews, taking pictures, doing like little tours of the building kind of thing, just having a good time hanging out. It's like for other artists to like meet each other and like say hi, you know, like what's the kind of word? What is it? There's the word, you know what I'm saying? Like
Like
when people are
networking or something?
networking. That's the
Yeah.
word. That's the word. Yeah, yeah, networking. Yeah, it's just like a networking kind of thing for other artists, it felt like. But yeah, I did this interview and then they were just asking like random facts. And I was like, yo, I do have this like interesting thing that I've had ever since I was a kid. Like I've noticed, and I do have like a really long tongue. What's weird too is like, I don't want to say it's like my tongue is long. I just feel like even my skin is just really stretchy. Like I don't know what the deal is. So I think it's more along like yeah, my tongue's really long, but it stretches. You know, it's not like it's like just coming out of my mouth like I can barely speak. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, yeah, it's a thing. It's really interesting. I don't know why it's like that. My dad's was not like that. My mom's is not like that. I don't know what the deal is with that, honestly.
I've
But it's
never
cool.
seen anyone pull on their skin like that before. What the fuck?
Oh yeah. I don't know why it's like that. Yeah, it's like I mean my arm's kind of like that. Like right here is kind of like that too. It's like yeah, it's, especially my face. My face like does it the most. I don't know what the deal is.
That is so crazy. Have you actually measured your tongue?
Yeah, I did when I was like younger, and I wanted to say I used to remember, but I don't remember. I haven't done it in a while because it just depends. It's like, are you measuring from when it like right here or back there? I don't know, but I want to go in one day and really just see what I can do with it because I feel like it's different because I'll see like someone online but they're also like a girl that's like 5'3", and like her face is smaller, but her tongue is like bigger. But I'm
Right.
also like, but I'm just like I'm 6 foot, almost 6'1", and I'm like 180 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a little bit different. So I'm always thinking like maybe I should go in and try and figure that out.
You said you're almost 6'1", right?
Yeah, almost, not quite. With shoes on, yeah, but with shoes off now, just under.
Very cool.
I'll see with the tongue thing. I kind of want to go. I don't know, because if I could get in the Guinness Book of World Records for that, that'd
Exactly
be
what I was thinking.
crazy. That'd be
Exactly what
sick.
I
I don't
was
think they. I
thinking.
don't think they pay you for that, but hey,
Good publicity, though.
yeah, right. It's just one more thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I noticed that you had posted a video with your sister. Do you have any other siblings, or is it just the two of you?
It's my sister and then my mom. She remarried in 2011, so I have a stepbrother and two stepsisters as well. They're all older than me.
I love that. Would you say that music has brought your relationship closer with your siblings?
I would say, in a sense, yeah, it's like created opportunities for like my sister. She can come to my show, you know what I'm saying? She can be in like the videos. Whereas, like, I want to say before in my life, I was always so centered around like things that I would want to do and like a little bit selfish in the sense of like, oh, I'm just gonna go skating after school, and I'm just gonna be skating, kind of thing. Or like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends and just go fishing all day. I feel like now it's like I can be like, yo, I have this song, you want to check it out? Or like even things like background vocals, like I've had her do like background vocal takes on stuff just to have and use them as like instruments. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I was so curious to ask you about that because I feel like that's definitely something with me. I'm the middle child of five, and I feel like all of my creative ventures, when I was doing choreography, I own a performing arts company in Vegas. I feel like my art has always brought me closer to my siblings because it's just another thing we can bond over and talk about and give them spoilers, and it's good conversation to have with them. And so I was curious to ask you that because you had made a video where you were showing her a snippet of one of your newer songs or something, and it truly brought me so much joy because I'm like, it's so nice to see him sharing that with his relative, with his sibling, and it's totally something I do. So had to ask you about that.
Yeah, I feel like music's like one of those things that's like, it's just a conversation opener. You know what I'm saying? It's like a good starter, and it's like just so easy to just have a reason to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it shouldn't just take one thing. Like you should, obviously I have like a good, not obviously, but I like to think I have a good relationship with like my sister and like the rest of my siblings. The older ones, like my two step sibling, one of them lives on the East Coast, and then the other two live like hours away kind of thing. So I don't see him as often as I do. But when I do see him, yeah, it's cool. It's just things to talk about. Kind of like, just with work, like, oh, how's the job, man? You know what I'm saying? Or like, I don't know, things like that, right?
Totally. Something I journaled, I'm going to read it to you real quick. I had wrote in my journal while, getting ready for this today and listening to your music. And I wrote, I feel like us as listeners with music like yours, we get a daily check-in. Do you think it's easy to forget to check in on the artist making the music because the music itself is a sign that you're coping and you're doing just fine? This is kind of a deep one because I do feel like with artists, people perceive you making music as your way of coping. It's your journal, it's your diary, it's your life, right? And I think with artists, specifically like you, who are very vulnerable, the audience can think, oh, Gavin's coping just fine. I mean, look at the song he just put out. It's so good. But do you think that sometimes that's the reason why people do not check in on you? Because they think because you're doing music, you don't need to be checked in on.
I feel like I used to think that. And I think also, I think it has something to do with that. Like, I wanted to think that because it's like what seemed like easiest to think. But at the same time, I also feel like it's just like people grow apart, sometimes. And it's just like a lot of times, something like what I'm doing is just a little bit extreme. Some people just don't want to be a part of it kind of thing in that sense. Like, they're cool to hang out and like do whatever. But like I'll have certain friends that won't ask about it, which I don't expect them to. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just like, oh yeah, he's just doing his thing, good or bad, whatever's happening, it's just kind of happening. Like same thing with like my other friends where they're doing their thing. Like, I'll only ask if like, the opportunity arises. I feel like to ask. I feel like if I don't, then it's usually because we're talking about other things and like just it doesn't get brought up. I don't know. That's kind of like at least the way I look at it, if that makes any sense. Try not to take it like too personal, you know what I'm saying? If that's the case, because I never think that like what I'm doing dictates how someone feels about me. At least I hope not, you know what I'm saying?
I absolutely love that. And I appreciate that honesty too, because I think we all fall into that fault of we don't always do our best in checking in on people. And sometimes I think it's okay to have that little reminder that there's a time and place for all of it. you know? And so I think the biggest thing with this, specifically interactions with artists like you, I think that it's so important to just remember that just because someone appears to be doing fine, for example, your song is being streamed so much, you're doing great with content, you're doing good, it's also a good reminder to not assume that we shouldn't check in on them because their art is doing so good.
I definitely agree with that because I do feel like at least with like my creative friends, it's like it's easier for me to reach out because there's that thing in common. You know what I'm saying? Like the music, it brings you together and it's a lot easier. Whereas I feel like more in my personal life, it's more along the lines of what I was saying, just because it's like there isn't that connection there. Like it doesn't get brought up. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. In your latest song, you said, because he lost his mind and I came too late. Was there ever a point in this period of grief where you carried guilt for simply not checking in? Or where did this lyric come from?
Yeah, that came from something super tragic that had just happened like earlier on in the year. What I wrote the One Day You're Gone song about, just losing somebody. Yeah, big thing about just like not checking in. I felt like that was huge for me. And it's like something I wish I could have done, but I just like didn't because of like everything that I just explained how I thought. And it's just a way of thinking, and it's like not to bring it up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like not to purposely not bring it up, but it's like you look back on it and you're like, dude, I totally wish I should have. But then you think about how you're actually thinking in the moment and you're like, you weren't. So it's like, how do you change that pattern of behavior to where you're like more proactive about those sort of things that are super important to talk about?
Oh, for sure. What is something Gavin does to remind himself that, like, it's okay to not be able to do it all? Something I don't think a lot of people understand. And again, this also comes from experience. I was a choreographer for 15 years. The idea that because you're in this craft, in this artsy world, it's just always fun. It's always so much fun. Like you get to do music for a living. Like that's so much fun. How does Gavin remind himself that it's okay to not be able to do it all? Like it's not always as fun as it appears.
Yeah, I don't do that enough. I feel like personally it's like I tell myself I have to do it all the time and I do get stressed out about it a lot. But I mean, even something like I was on the phone with one of my artist friends like an hour or two ago and we were just chopping it up because it's just like, you're doing so much and then one thing doesn't go as well as you thought. Maybe it's like a video that didn't do good, or maybe it's like a song that didn't do as good as you expect, and like all the hard work that you have, like it just goes right out the window and you just feel like a failure. And so I try, at least what I was saying to him, because I feel the same way a lot of the time, is just that you have to remind yourself of what you've done. And like, I know it's corny to say, like, try and look at the positives, but it's just like, be happy for yourself. Cause it's like, why not? Especially if you've done things that like, are a lot further along than where you started. If you've been at this for a while, it's like, you're going to have something to be proud of. And just so try and be proud of it, I feel like is the best part of it. And just enjoy it, while it's there, because it's like, you're not always going to be where you're at right now.
Absolutely. Fishing used to be something you used to do for fun, and it's now become part of your brand. What is something that is not a part of your brand that you still do for you for fun?
Something that's not a part of my brand that I feel like I do for fun is I wouldn't say, I mean, I post my dogs and whatnot, but it's like, I'm not like singing about it too much and whatnot. And like, I feel like it's hard with like things like that. So I can't even compare it because I'm, you know what I'm saying? It would never kind of get in the way of that. But like, I do walk my dogs a lot. That's just something I'd be doing. I'd be walking them, kind of just doing the thing. It's so tough because I really don't feel like I do a lot. I used to play a lot of video games with like my friends, just mainly just Fortnite. I'd never played anything but Fortnite. Oh, I'm spacing. I'm so spacing. I watch UFC like really hard. Like I watch it every Saturday. I'm very involved with like the community on YouTube, like just listening to podcasts. I've never been to a UFC event, but me and some of the fighters on there follow each other. So it's like, I'm trying to like just tap in with them, show love, love UFC. And there's no way to really affiliate that with what I'm doing. So it's just so perfect to just every Saturday, whenever they have the events, just sit back, relax, do literally nothing and not have to think about a thing music related. Yeah, I can't believe I don't talk about it really that much, but yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, it's like my favorite thing.
I love how you lit up talking about it. I think that's like the fun part about these conversations with people like you, that you're able to allow yourself to remind yourself that you're a fucking human, dude. Like it's really another reason why I've really set out to do these quote unquote interviews, but not be so traditional with them because I want this to be an escape for people. I want people to be reminded that they're fucking human. Yes, you're an artist. And yes, we obviously love what you're doing, or else, I personally wouldn't have invited anyone that I don't like their music. But I think that
Thank
it's such a good reminder that you're human. And I absolutely love that. And it truly made my day to watch you light up about something like UFC. It's so cool.
No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things too, is like when you're kind of just hanging out with like, even your friends or like just someone randomly, and like you can see the excitement in their face when they're starting to talk about something, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay, bet. Do your thing. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm super psyched for them. It's just a wholesome kind of moment, stuff like that.
Yeah, I love it. Something totally random that just came to my mind. A minute ago, you were talking about how you've used your sister to kind of play with like some background vocals and stuff like that. And one of my favorite things about your song Vices, there's a whistle in there. Who does the whistle in that song? Do you know what part I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, that was me.
Oh, it's you?
Yeah, yeah. I whistled in that song and Things We Do in one other one. Like I was kind of in like a whistling phase, I guess. I'm trying to remember which part what was it?
I don't remember exactly. It's been kind of running in my mind.
I'm trying to remember what part. Yeah, no, I do all the whistling though. Yeah, no, that's me.
That's awesome. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but it was just something that I'm like, oh, I remember when I first heard Vices. I loved the whistling in that song so much. It's such a small detail, but a few minutes ago when you mentioned your sister, my mind started to kind of like go ADHD, and I'm like, whistling, background, whistling, Vices, ask.
Yeah, no, 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 my brain's the same way. I totally feel you. Yeah, no, freaking, no, I'm glad you brought that up though, because that's like a fun part of like doing music. I always think I'm like, "Ah, I don't know if people are gonna pay attention to this little detail, but I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. So I'm gonna put it in. You know what I'm saying? See how it goes.
Absolutely. Speaking of music that's just so exciting, you recently teased a new song. From what I remember correctly, you haven't titled it yet. I don't know if you already have or not. Do you know what song I'm talking about? Because I'm fucking obsessed with it already.
Is it? Oh, I think yeah. Is it like maybe I? Is it that one? Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's as of right now, I'm not sure if it's the next drop. I posted another one today, and so I'm just kind of gonna look at the metrics and see which one people like more. But yeah, I think right now people are liking that one more. I just haven't had the chance to like post a lot of videos with it yet, just because yeah, he's on a little vacation right now. He's doing his thing. But yeah, no, no, thank you. Yeah, that was like I just made that one. I have to finish the first verse still for it because I kind of did it backwards. I did the hook, then the second verse, and now I have to do the first verse.
Dude, that is so exciting. What about that song made you want to put out the snippet? Like, what is it about that song that made you want to tease it to see if people liked it or not? Because I'm sure you have so many in your vault.
Yeah, yeah, no, there's a bunch. There's like a bunch of like songs just from throughout the years. I want to say that one. I made that one with my friend Evan, who I did Trees Talk with. That was a song from January. And he's just a really, really good guy, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like he gets the vision. I feel like he gets the sound and of what I'm trying to do. And that song, at least sonically, just sounded really, really nice to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying not to think about like dropping music based off of like the meaning every time. And this song was, it kind of felt like more of like a, hey, I'm asking for a sign, and and now I'm alone kind of thing. And that's my sign that I need to find myself first kind of thing, looking back at just life in general. It just felt like something that, I don't know, I get inspired by. And if I'm getting inspired by it, I'm just like you, like me, like anyone else that's going to feel the same way. So I just try and be like, all right, see how people feel about it. If they like it, they like it. If not, then all right, kind of just go back to the drawing board, see where we can go.
Okay, but you've got to know that like what you're doing right now is fucking incredible. Like you've got to know that, right?
I mean, I think it's cool, but I mean, there's so many other people doing so many cooler things, in my opinion, and I'm just like trying to like make sure I stay afloat. I mean, I'm working to be as big as I can, but as of how things are going, I'm just doing what I can do, and like not beating myself up about things that are beyond my control. Cool to know that hopefully, like at least in Chicago it was really cool. That was the first time. I know, not to bring it up randomly, but that was the first time that I felt like, oh, I'm doing something here, is when like they were singing my lyrics back for Vices and for Open Arms too. Yeah, yeah. It was really cool. You know what I'm saying? I was really, really happy about that.
Okay, so let's also talk about that feeling though, because Open Arms is not an older song, it's a newer song. And to already have an audience responding to it, and obviously, like, I'm a creeper. I look at people's comments, specifically when I'm about to have a guest on. I like to see what people are saying. And let me get off subject a little bit too, because my musical taste is so bipolar, dude. Like, I will literally
Right.
go from positive alternative to straight, like, gospel music to like hip hop to fucking Trina. Now I'm jamming out to Britney Spears. Like, it is so bipolar. And to to me, I feel like something that has never really been done in so long. And again, I'm older than you, so don't judge me for my age. But back in the day, we used to have somewhat of crossover artists like Switchfoot or Jackie Velasquez, who they were Christian singers, but they weren't Christian singers. You can really interpret them in the pop genre, but you can also interpret them in the gospel Christian genre. And so when I first discovered you, this is what truly like set me off. I was like, this is something that I feel like people are finally starting to relate to, that you can be both, that you can be all of the above. It's not just about being one genre. But let me get back on topic though, that feeling of the response to that song. It's newer. People are singing it back to you. Tell me about that feeling.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it was really sick. I was really excited about it. I mean, that was the first time I had ever played outside of the West Coast. I mean, I'd done a little gig in Florida. Oh wait, no, I didn't perform in Florida because it got rained out. Right. Yeah, I had never really performed outside of the West Coast that I can remember. So it was really cool being able to get out there. And I was super grateful for Ashley Kutcher for having me out. Her whole team was just super grateful with like just helping us out when things went wrong. And just allowing me to perform in front of like her audience and allowing me to bring my audience out there too. Like it was really special, you know what I'm saying? It was really cool.
Any plans on doing anything in like the Midwest, the North, or anything like that in the future, or even just this year alone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just haven't announced it, but we're planning a headline tour for the end of the year that'll go through the United States. And so, yeah, I'll be like Midwest, East, West, Northwest, Southwest, like East, Northeast, like, like around and Midwest too. Yeah. So, yes.
That's
I
amazing.
realized
That's
I could
so
have totally
exciting.
just said yes. I could have said yes, and that would have just been so much shorter, but you know how it is.
This is what happens when you get two fucking yappers on an episode, okay? We ramble, we go off subject, and it's crazy. But
Right.
something I wanted to talk with you about in regards to the song Vices. This is something that I had randomly journaled about. Can't stand to let you see my lows, and so I left home the same day you said go. The cowardly mirror in that is sometimes we don't like to necessarily call it quits, so we push people to do it for us. Where did that inspiration come from when it comes to that line specifically? Because that line meant so much to me. It was like looking in the mirror at times where we don't have the courage to say, hey, it's over. We've got to move on from this relationship or this friendship. So what we do is we become toxic ourselves to do the pushing so that they do it first. And that's just how I'm interpreting it. I could be completely off, but I'm curious to get into your mind about that.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say it's like at the end of the day, I've always been someone that's just kind of like, why would I sit here? Like, if someone doesn't want me to stay, it's like just because I've heard so many stories about people like, not being able to break up with someone because they won't, other person won't accept it. And I mean, that's just crazy to me. It's like, kind of like, hey, wake up, a little bit. So it's like, and I just don't want to be that person because I just feel like not only is it embarrassing to myself, but it can be potentially like harmful to the person that, maybe you hurt in the first place. So why would you try and create more issues, Like, kind of thing. That's just the way I look at it. Like, oh, I let my vices get in the way of our relationship. You don't want to be with me anymore as a result. And now I'm going to sit here and not accept it because of something that I had a problem with before, Like it's all my wrongdoing. So it's like I don't want to hold other people accountable for it because I just feel super bad because I've done that before. Like, in my past, like we all make mistakes in that sense, I hope. But yeah, it's like I've reacted badly in like in that sense, not in a relationship, but just with a conversation. I won't let it go. I'm like, dude. And they're like, can you just like drop it? And then I'm like, and then everything is so much easier if you just let things go. Different sense of scale, but like same concept, I feel like can be applied.
Totally can be applied. I absolutely love that. And totally random, what is your zodiac sign? Do you follow zodiac signs? I don't really, but
Um,
I'm just curious to ask.
Yeah. Oh, dude, my hair is so bad. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. No, it's I want to say with zodiac signs, I've gotten like information like just on like horoscope things like on Facebook. I want to say like it'll be a chart and of like all the different signs and it'll match up your sign with this and that's your thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's interesting. And I've heard from other people just that I'm friends with, and I've noticed it myself. Like, I have a really, 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 really tough time making up my mind about things. Like, unless it's like a business, like, decision, I had to flip a coin to decide what like university I was going to go to because I didn't
Stop.
know. Yeah, well, I mean, they were 2 hours from each other. It wasn't that big of a difference. I just can't make up my mind. That's like a trait I've been told. It's like indecisiveness. It's all about balance, I feel like, right? It's the scales. It's crazy. You'd think I'd have that, but
You're more aware than you think. I like that. I appreciate that.
I will say the only thing that worries me about being aware though is it almost makes it worse because you're like aware that you're like this. I guess if it's beyond your control, then it's one thing. But I don't know. I always
No,
try
for
and just
sure.
get it from that perspective. I'm like, wait, huh?
No, I totally get what you're saying. It's like if you know you're aware, then why still be that way? But it's sometimes you're just wired the way you're wired, and that's totally cool.
Right, right, right. 100%.
I love that. Something I wanted to do with you, Gavin, getting closer to wrapping everything up with you, I wanted to ask you some random questions. I pulled inspiration from your Instagram. They're just random. So just kind of go along with it and answer as you see that you can. Okay.
Got you.
In a post, you said that you put down 7 taquitos before the photos were taken. Where are these taquitos from, and what kind of taquitos do you like?
This is gonna sound so bad. I do get the ones from the gas station sometimes. I want to say like once every once in a while, right? It's just in college. I used to get those like all the time, like the frozen ones. There's like lots of them, but they're kind of small.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
so let's actually talk about that a little bit because I am going to go on record to say I'm fucking Hispanic, so I'm probably going to get a lot of shit from my people that are going to hear me say this, but I'm going to admit that 7-Eleven taquitos and tacos from Jack in the Box, I can fat bitch them all the fucking time. They're so fucking good. So if you do eat taquitos from the gas station, I'm not here to judge you, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you're going in for a Red Bull or like a water or some Gatorade, whatever it is you're going in for. And it's just right there. You're like, oh, boom. Okay, easy. Boom. I'm hungry. Not hungry anymore. You know what I'm saying? Problem solved. Because I'm so much like, especially just with like how my brain works. Like I'm like, I don't have time to eat, dude. I got to do something else. I'm like busy right now, you know?
For sure. Just totally random. You were just drinking Gatorade. What flavor Gatorade were you drinking?
Oh yeah. Do I have the thing over there? Oh no, I don't. I had a huge like cluster of like a bunch of these like glacier freeze. Yeah, this is the light blue one. I thought I had in my room. I could have sworn I was gonna grab it. I was gonna be like, oh, I got the big pack. But no, yeah. It's just yeah, it's just the little guys. But my favorite flavor, and everybody sleeps on it, it's icy charge. It's dark, it's like the dark blue, but it's a little bit lighter. It's really, really good. And then there's the strawberry watermelon one. I think that was the one they used in like the NFL. Yeah, it was really good. Sorry, super random, but yeah.
No, I'm totally tapping into like probably this is one of my first ADHD episodes I'm doing. I love it so much because this is exactly how I pictured my interaction with you being. I had a good feeling about it. I love your music. I love what you're doing. And I'm like, I just want to be as random as possible with this kid. So
Let's go. Yeah, no, I'm literally always down. Always game.
I love it. The last one I have for you, okay, and this is where I'm going to need you to kind of work with me a little bit here, okay? I have a song and a post. For some reason, I don't know why this stood out to me on your Instagram. The song is not yours, okay? So this is just a random song, but I saw you make a post and I immediately started to sing this song. So I'm going to ask you some questions. They aren't going to make sense. So keep that in mind, okay? They're not going to make sense. I just need you to answer them however you see fitting, okay?
Let's do it. I'm gonna do my best. Why
Let's do it. If you're a punk and I did ballet, could we be a good match?
did I just think of that Avril Lavigne song, Skater Boy? Maybe?
Maybe that's good. You're a boy and I'm a girl. Can I make that any more obvious to you, Gavin?
Yes.
If I turned you down and in 5 years from now, I'm sitting at home feeding the baby and I'm all alone, I turn on the TV and I see you, the skater boy, rocking up MTV, what song would you want to be singing to show me, your ex, that I missed out?
I feel like I'm supposed to know what's related to the song, but I do not.
If I came to your concert and I looked up at the man that I turned down, what would you say to me?
Ah, dude. Yeah, I'm spacing.
No, you're totally good. If I had a problem with your baggy clothes, what would you say?
Be like, it's 2024 and this is what's hot right now. Leave me alone.
That's perfect. Haven't you heard how we rock each other's world?
And I don't think anyone told me that yet. I'm waiting for it.
Let me tell you this. You totally got the song right off the bat. It was Avril Lavigne, Skater Boy.
Yes, I love. No, I used to be in the car. My mom used to play it growing up on the way to soccer practice.
Okay, but now the real question is, can you think of what post on your Instagram made me think of that song?
It wasn't a reel, right?
It was not. Mm-mm.
Is this old?
It's pretty old, yes. But let me tell you the irony behind this post and me not knowing that we were going to go off script, I guess you can say, and talk about hobbies that are now in the past. Did not think we were going to get into that, but this is one of them.
Kendama? No, no, no. That's a toy I play with. It's like a random Japanese toy. Oh, wait. I think there might have been a picture from 2022 with I had like bronze hair at a skate park. Was
Yes.
that it?
Yeah.
That was it? Okay, sick, sick. I remember thinking I might at the time because I was like, oh, this post is doing terrible. No one thinks it's cool. And so I thought I was like, did I archive that? I must not have. Awesome. Great. No, that's great. See, that's why you don't archive stuff. Awesome.
Listen, I thought it was fucking cool, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I was like, oh, dude, I look dumb.
No, not at all. This is why I really do believe in the redirection we were talking about a minute ago, how the universe has a way of just kind of working. That post totally made me want to just ask you random Avril Lavigne lyric questions to see if you would pick up on it. Because
Oh yeah.
I swear to you, Gavin, I swear to you, I journaled. I would like to know what are some hobbies he left behind that I could remind him of, just to remind him that he's human and to just have fun with everything he's doing in life. So it's like the universe. The universe is so wonderful.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I liked having just being able to like have conversations too, and it just flows. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to like feel like a script too. And I feel like, you bring the good vibe too, so it's nice. You know what I'm saying? It's good.
No, I appreciate that and right back at you, dude. So the last thing I have for you is to tell everyone, where is Gavin? Because I think it's hilarious that that's your Instagram handle is where is Gavin? So let's tell everyone, where is Gavin?
Gavin is turning his Bluetooth off because to his AirPod. Are we back? You
We're
can hear me.
back.
We're good. I heard what you were saying. Where you can find me on like streaming platforms and stuff?
Yep.
Oh yeah, so I'm Gavin, and yeah, you can find me on really any streaming platform if you search in GAVN exclamation point. And yeah, it'll just be a picture of me looking like this and some trees in the background. So if you see that, it's me.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much for making the time to do this with me today. I have had a blast. I think the world of you. I love what you're doing. I will say it on record. You will be bigger than Jack Harlow. So don't ever say that you don't think you'll make it as big as Jack Harlow. You 100% will.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for that. It's not something I'll think about often, but I just look at it from the perspective of like that's not yet where I'm at yet. So I just like I acknowledge that like there's room to grow, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it helps make things just a little easier, you know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. Thank you so much, Gavin. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, dude.
Thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day too. And yeah, thanks again for having me.
You got it, dude. I'll definitely be in touch, all right?
All right, sounds good. See you later.
Alrighty, bye. Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.